The last time you were here, Yogan, we were talking about how you grew up on Dagobah, how your father was a Jedi who was out saving planets, leaving you and your mom home alone all the time.
I
She
love you,
finally got
Yogan.
that divorced and moved to South Central Los Angeles to the Jordan Downs housing projects, where you end up joining the Grape Street Crips. I know you committed some serious crimes while gangbanging, and eventually it caught up with you. Can we talk a little bit about what landed you in prison?
Yeah, man. It wasn't just one thing. It was a build-up of bad decisions, you know? Drug dealing, gun running, and getting caught up in some heavy gang violence. One night, things went south during a robbery gone wrong, and we shot a rival gang member. That's what put me behind bars for over a decade, but I was already on a downward spiral before that. The streets don't forgive, and neither do the courts.
What was going through your head when you got sentenced? Were you still in that gang mindset? Or did things shift for you? How do you even process something like that, Yogan?
Nah, I was still deep in it. When the judge read that sentence, I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't even thinking about life beyond that moment. It was just another chapter in the streets for me. But prison, that shit changes you. Man, prison is a whole other beast. I thought the streets were rough, but when that cell door slams behind you for the first time, you know it's survival of the fittest. Every day is about respect, but the violence is on another level. People are getting stabbed over a stare, over words. It's constant chaos.
California prisons are no joke, especially when you come in with a rep like yours, Yogan. I mean, shit, you were known as the Darth Vader of South Central. How did you deal with it once you were inside?
It's a whole different world inside. I went through some of the toughest prisons in California, San Quentin,
Oh,
Folsom.
it's crazy.
Violence was everywhere. I got into fights, witnessed stabbings, and had to watch my back constantly. Prison's a war zone. If you ain't fighting, you're dying. There was one brawl. I didn't even have a beef, but if you're in the yard, you're in the fight. It was chaos, blood everywhere, people getting stabbed left and right. I got sliced up, but I made it out. The gang mentality doesn't stop just because you're behind bars.
Prison's all about survival, and sometimes you have to get revenge. I heard you handled somebody who stole from you in a pretty vicious way.
I had this guy, let's just call him D, who snuck into my cell when I was out. Dude thought he could take some of my stuff, like I wasn't gonna find out. Word gets around quick in there though, and I knew it was him. So I waited, and I came up with an idea. Next breakfast, we were in the chow hall, and I knew D would be there too. I grabbed some pancake syrup, and on the sly, took it back to my cell. Now pancake syrup, that stuff is sticky and thick, but when it's hot, it's brutal.
Wait, hold up. You actually boiled pancake syrup?
Oh yeah. I took a metal cup, filled it with that syrup, and heated it up using a makeshift stove I had rigged. It was boiling, man, and thick like tar. I had to time it perfectly, though. When the guards weren't looking, I snuck the cup back into the chow hall. Everyone's eating, nobody's expecting anything. I walked up to D while he's sitting there with his tray, and without a word, I dumped that boiling syrup all over him.
God damn.
He screamed, "Bro, I'm talking loud." The syrup stuck to him, people were losing it, scrambling to get away, but it was too late for D. His face, his arms, covered in that boiling mess. The guards rushed in, of course, but by then the damage was done. They threw us all in lockdown after that. It was about sending a message. In prison, if you let people take from you, they'll keep doing it. I made sure no one would ever try me again.
Damn it.
After that, nobody even looked in my direction the wrong way. I earned respect the hard way,
Straight
but it also
ruthless.
put a target on my back. Every action has a consequence, and in prison, there's always someone watching. But at the end of the day, survival comes first.
Holy shit.
It taught me that every move had to be planned out, whether it's in the streets, in prison, or later on, in crypto.
That is straight ruthless, Yogan. Damn, I see why they called you Yogzilla in the streets. I also heard you had a run-in with some 6'8" booty bandit up in there.
Yeah, some piece of shit tried to take advantage of me. Thought he could break me. But when you've survived the streets, you don't back down. He cornered me in my cell, tried to make his move, but I snapped.
Holy
I fought
shit,
back like a
Yogan.
fucking animal, got my hands on a sharpened toothbrush,
I would
and I
not
didn't
survive.
stop until he was done. Yeah, I put him to sleep permanently. That's the truth. They put me in solitary after that. But after that, no one ever tried me again. I ain't proud
Shit.
of it, but you either fight or you're food in there.
After going through all that violence, how did things change for you? When did you finally learn the lessons that would get you out of that mindset?
Man, it was solitary that changed everything. You spend enough time alone, you start thinking. I started reading, philosophy,
Hmm.
history, all that deep shit. Nietzsche, Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. I realized the streets were a dead end, and I was just another cog in the system, a pawn.
Hmm.
That's when I made the decision to change my life.
So you also started learning about crypto, right? While you were on the inside?
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
I started reading everything I could about blockchain technology with the limited books I had access to in prison. What fascinated me the most was the idea of decentralization. In a traditional financial system,
Well, that's
there are
good.
always intermediaries. Banks, governments, people who control your access to your own money. Blockchain flips
It's
that
awesome,
completely.
Yogan.
It's a decentralized system where no single entity has control. It's built on a network of computers, nodes, that verify transactions, which means everyone shares the power and no one can manipulate the system.
Man, that's awesome.
For someone like me, coming from a life where everything was controlled by gangs, by the streets, and then by the prison system, the idea of being part of something that was completely free from control was mind-blowing. I realized that blockchain wasn't just about money, it was about freedom, independence, and having control over your own future. I started thinking about how I could use that knowledge when I got out. The moment I was released, I dove right into the Solana ecosystem. Meme coins in particular caught my attention. At first glance, they seemed like a joke, just memes turned into coins. But I saw potential there. Meme coins were accessible, people understood them, and they had the ability to go viral. It seemed like a wild idea, but it worked. I saw meme coins as a way to make crypto fun and engaging while still being part of something much bigger. And for me, that's what really clicked.
You come out of prison with philosophy and a head full of blockchain knowledge, and now you're an actual Solana meme coin. How did all that happen?
When I got out, I had nothing but a plan. I didn't have any money, no connections, just this crazy idea that meme coins on Solana could be my way out. So I started small, putting everything I had into it. It was rough, but all the shit I learned inside about discipline, about seeing the bigger picture, it paid off. That's how I made my way in this game, and here I am today, a Solana meme coin, YouTube influencer, and a changed man.
Yogan, I appreciate you sharing the harsh realities of prison and how you overcame it to become who you are today. I hope anybody who's caught up in that lifestyle really takes everything you've said today to heart.
Yeah, man. If my story can help even one person avoid going down that same path, then it's worth it. There's nothing glamorous about that life. It's filled with pain, loss, and regret. A lot of my anger came from things I didn't even understand back then. Like how I felt about my father. He was always gone, off saving planets, using the Force, doing what he thought was right. But it felt like he was always prioritizing the galaxy over me, his own son. I didn't realize until later how much that messed with me. I had all this misplaced anger, and I took it out on the streets, on anyone who crossed me. But looking back, I can see now it wasn't just about my father. It was about me not understanding how to handle that pain. It took going through all that chaos for me to realize that no matter how far down you are, you can always change. It's never too late to turn things around.
It's crazy how calm and composed Yogan is now, considering he's given a man third-degree burns and put another man permanently to sleep using a sharpened toothbrush. Well, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.